Iowans know their local fair is special.
Cow showing takes a lot of work.
12-year-old Sydney Walker is showing his prize show heifer, Summer. After months of preparation, it's time to shine.
A fair amount of quality out here.
Summer and Sydney are in the final drive. Winning hardware comes down to the judge's decision. But before we get there,
And also areas where we could even see some isolated tornadoes embedded within that.
It was 80 degrees in December.
Right.
Weird thing. I mean, it's not going to be a good day.
With severe weather expected, it was time to secure the farm.
We have never been so ready for a storm ever.
But that couldn't prevent Mother Nature, putting them in the eye of a historic tornado outbreak.
Power went out, so we had to just run downstairs. It was really fast.
An EF2 tornado packing 120-mile-per-hour winds tore through their farm.
What I thought was hail had to been debris.
Sheets of debris pummeled their house. 60 seconds is all it took for Mother Nature to knock out their power and demolish property.
To come out into that carnage was like otherworldly, really.
Sydney's beloved show heifer was in a barn that,
The barn crumbled and collapsed.
on this December night, Summer was nowhere to be found.
A friend and my husband climbed in there and came back out and told me that, nope, she is not there.
Amid all the damage and the stress of watching a 100-plus-year-old family farm torn apart,
Something major had happened, and we have all of these lives in our hands.
priority number one, rein in all the animals.
We looked out here, and our cows are very trained to buckets of corn.
That night, with his heifer unaccounted for, Sydney had faith,
They're gonna make it to the county fair, and I'm gonna win.
and faith prevailed.
We went and grabbed some corn and shook a bucket, and all the calves came up, and I looked, and here in my flashlight is Summer. She was eating a round bale, like nothing happened, like she's having a snack. Okay.
Which I'm sure Sydney was really happy about.
Oh my gosh, they were just relieved, and that was the best moment of the whole thing, was being able to go tell them that she's okay.
I was really happy, but there's still a lot more stuff that needed to be done.
When the sun came up the next day, the weather was calm and cool, but the work that needed to be done was unimaginable. That's when neighbors answered the call.
I tell you, that's the part about living here in Iowa that, you know, there's no place like home.
Neighbors helped clean up tree limbs and debris and even brought Chris coffee while the Walkers were waiting for their power to be restored.
You knew the one thing I had to function is my cup of coffee, and here he showed up.
When Christmas came, the farm was on the way to recovery, but a beloved family member, Grandma Patty, was still fighting a life-threatening illness.
She was still very, very sick at that time.
6+ months in the hospital fighting for her life. Grandma Patty wasn't able to be with the family for the holidays.
Even in the worst of times, you want to be together.
Days rolled by and the Walkers continued to pick up their farm. The illness that hospitalized Patty started to subside.
It's interesting to kind of look back on it that way and think, you know, that she, you know, as we recovered, she did too.
Come July, the whole family was together again at the Hamilton County Fair. Patty, who spent months eating through a tube, was able to enjoy fair food again.
For her to be able to be at the fair and have our Cast Red Cardinals beef burger or two.
The whole family at the fair watching Sydney show Summer and his older sister Riley show lambs just means more. Now, Sydney and Summer didn't win, but that seems like a moot point, doesn't it?
I'm glad she's alive, and I think that she got her moment to shine. Hi, princess.
And the life they were so worried about losing is about to give birth.
And now she's gonna be a mom. Okay, bye-bye, go eat.
This past year has been challenging for the Walkers, but it's also made them count their blessings. A house intact, a farm being rebuilt, a heifer that snacked her way through one of the state's largest tornado outbreaks, and a family that is simply grateful.
It just makes you so grateful for life and health and, you know, family and community and all of those things that are so easy to take for granted.